And we are definitely those people that be looking in the mirror like, who the spent all the money? Who spent all, like, we've been robbed. And it's kind of a humbling moment because it's definitely not something that we ever wanted. It's not something, I don't want to say that I'm not proud of. It is official. I am the most inconsistent YouTuber you will ever meet, but please give me a chance. I swear, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better. If you can see all this mess in the background, as you can tell from the title, I decided I needed to pick up the camera and record because if I didn't, I know I would regret it because I'm moving. This is April 1st. If you hear noises, ignore them. It is my cat. I am moving. As you can see, everything, we are just packing everything we own. Everything is just everywhere. I thought I'd kind of just give like a general update about what's going on, what we're doing, where we're going, why. Kind of as like a way to look back and see where life takes me from here, because where you think you're going in life is never where you're actually going. You know, God just laughs at your plans. I just made 32 weeks pregnant as I'm packing up this whole house to move. I believe last year, I know I did a whole story about me finding out I was unexpectedly pregnant. It's crazy how we were looking to buy a home or a condo last year. That is not where the Lord was planning to take us at all. Literally, both of my cats. Every video, like sometimes I'm like, oh, they're cute, but this time I'm like, this isn't. First of all, welcome to your setup, and I genuinely like they don't be in my face until I'm trying to film. I always knew I never wanted to like have a baby. If we had a kid, I didn't want to be in this apartment. We don't have a washer and a dryer here, and our goal is to save up and buy a house regardless. And it's pure coincidence that somebody just bought this building actually, but the person who bought it is trying to go all out, and he wants to be able to raise the rent and install everything we want and need a washer and a dryer and do a lot of changes. But at the end of the day, we would just be paying a lot more money for rent, and that's not helping us towards our goal of buying a home. Hence the reason why we just kind of decided, you know what, let's just revisit the idea of moving back in with my dad, because that way we can just save money to buy a home that we would want. So that's just kind of how life goes. And it's kind of a humbling moment because it's definitely not something that we ever wanted. It's not something, I don't want to say that I'm not proud of. Look at you. Because I'm actually trying to be good for once and do what I'm supposed to do.
What?
Because I'm actually trying to be good for once and do what I'm supposed to do. Is that all your stuff? Oh.
This is the shirts and sweaters.
That you're keeping?
Yeah. There's some of your stuff in there. You have your shirts and sweaters in here as well. Yeah. So that stuff is in there. So you're going in
This is gonna be sealed and vacuumed, right? So as you can see, we pack it.
I got the rest of your that I came across is in that bag.
That stuff is Devon, that stuff ain't your stuff anyway. All them clothes, my clothes. Your clothes is my clothes.
I know, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So you just keep lumping them together. I hung them that way for a reason, because they all my clothes. You think you got clothes, but you ain't got none, especially while I'm pregnant. What was that thing? Saving money. Yeah, we want to save money. We want to buy up for a house. And I was saying it's not something I'm proud of to have to do it, but I don't want to say that I'm not proud, because at the end of the day, saying I'm not proud about something makes me feel like I'm comparing myself to others, because I do have a lot of friends that has bought property, you've bought homes. Like that just kind of sometimes makes you feel like you're behind in life when you're not able to do those things, especially when you've had the means to do those things if you properly managed your money in the first place, but I didn't. And we got to be better. And I'm just so always like convicted and inspired by YouTube videos that talk about becoming debt-free, living a debt-free life. This summer, I'm gonna give birth hopefully sometime next month, and then have the summer off before the school year starts again, since I am a school nurse. And I really want to focus on budgeting and like really getting down to the nitty-gritty and like setting up our bank accounts to make sure we're doing the best with like budgeting. And we are definitely those people that be looking in the mirror like, who the spent all the money? Who spent all, like, we've been robbed. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is crazy in the background that y'all can see. Probably some empty Starbucks cups. Because I gave up. Budgeting is going to start when we get there and get settled in, honey, because it's DoorDash for me. Like, I don't have the energy to cook, clean, pack, be pregnant, grow this child, and then I've been working as well. And then pregnancy update. It hurts to get up and down. So this I'm gonna go. This is my belly. I am 32 weeks, like I said. Whew, getting up and down. It is not easy these days. My back don't be having it. 32 weeks, 3rd trimester. What am I going through? My back, it's not like a constant back pain what I had in my 1st trimester. I don't have a lot of back stamina. 1st trimester, I could overdo it and put myself in pain. Now it's just stiff. I'm supposed to be doing some pregnancy yoga and I have just been slacking on that. They said that she is small. She was only in the 19th percentile for weight when they measured her in January. They measured her again and she was only in the 13th percentile, even though she still is over 3 pounds, which is about how big they're supposed to be at this point. So they just want to keep an eye out for her. My midwife was saying the worst that can happen, we have to do more frequent ultrasounds just to keep up with her to make sure that she continues to grow, and then do another ultrasound to see if everything's okay, like she's getting good umbilical cord flow, or do tests to see if there's a reason why she would be smaller, if there's anything restricting her growth. I'm going every 2 weeks now, and like I said, I'm due at the end of May. My baby shower is coming up. Just a lot going on. We're moving, we're having a baby, change our lives, budget, just do a clean reset. Every time we try to do a clean reset, it's like another like knockout. I'm gonna quit my job and be a travel nurse, and then still not happy with that. But then like, oh, you can use this to pay off your student debt. Oh, but now you can't travel nurse anymore because you're pregnant and you're sick. Okay, well, I guess you also can't buy a home, and you gotta find somewhere to go because you don't want to live in the apartment you are now to have a baby. So where you gonna go? And you need to save up money because you ain't been doing right with your money. And I think that's the overall message that I've just been getting this point from the Lord himself, is just you really have to learn how to do well with the resources you have. It's not all about making the most money, which of course you always want to make more money, but if you don't know how to manage what you got, then what's the point of having it? So that's kind of where we're at. So I guess, yeah, I'll just do like a quick walkthrough. So like I said, today is Saturday. We're Saturday, April 1st, 2023, and we are supposed to be moving Monday, April 3rd. Here we go. Only when I'm filming. Knowing myself, since I'm not gonna have that much time to edit this, I'm sure I'll have footage of, I'll try to get footage of what the apartment's looking like now that we're packing up, and then some footage of while probably they're moving, and empty apartment footage. And so I probably need all the moving tips I can possibly get, because I have never done a big move before. This is definitely my first time, my first experience. So the house that we're moving into is my childhood home. It's the same home I lived in my whole entire life. I've only ever left to go to college, and that's not really a big move. That's you packing up your clothes and toiletries and a couple things, and then you're going back and forth. And then I still lived at home after I got my bachelor's degree, and I went to nursing school here in Chicago, and I lived with my dad during that time. And then my husband already lived in this apartment when I graduated, so I just kind of slowly moved some things in with him, like some clothes over time, and that was really it. Like, I didn't do a big move. All the furniture that is here, the couch, we bought that, and along with our coffee table as well. Basically all the furniture, I bought it for here, so I never did a big move. So now this is the first time I'm picking up my whole living room and moving somewhere else. More stuff. I don't even recognize that. You got a donation bag?
No.
You keeping it all?
Nah, well, what I don't want, Miko gonna come through later and
today? My trick, a lot of boxes. I always knew I didn't want to be here forever. So every time I got an Amazon bag, I would save it. Like, you can see that nice little box over there. There were some nice decent boxes, you know what I'm saying? So we did just buy some of these totes to put some more of the bigger things, like our kitchen things. Those are empty for now. We haven't filled them up yet. And then also those blue IKEA bags. I saw those on Amazon, like they were suggested for moving, and those just have like shoes in them, and they've been helpful. And the rest of the house just looks tore up from the floor up, and there's no explanation for anything. Yeah, let's go through. Let's go through. We just got this TV actually unmounted. It was mounted on the wall, and Best Buy came today to unmount it. It's just so much random stuff that I have to figure out, like, what's the best way to pack all your throw pillows? I don't know. Clearly I still have to pack my shoes, and actually there's not even much interesting to see, to be honest. But you can just see it before. Our bedroom. Oh yeah, this is majority of my clothes. We do not make the bed. Do not judge me. Gotta do something with those. More boxes from Amazon. Still have not figured out how to pack up a lot of bathroom things. Their litter box, I just have to completely empty that out. They should be able to hopefully wrap that mirror for me. And I just gotta take down some pictures. And then the kitchen stuff. They will be taking the stove and the refrigerator. Gotta figure out how to pack up. What's the best way to pack up a little bit of food you'll be taking? I don't know. This tote is full of some kitchen things like the crock pots and pots and bowls and things like that. And we still have a lot more to go. So all right, so as y'all can see, I still have plenty of packing to do. Today is Saturday. We have the rest of today, Sunday, and the state of my back right now is a pack for 10 or 15 minutes, sit down for 10 minutes, pack for another 10, 15, 20 minutes, sit down. So yeah, I'm gonna work on getting this stuff together, packing as much as I can, and then hopefully I can show you guys the empty apartment when we're done, and then the move, and I'll just keep you updated. Alright y'all, now hear me out. Since, I don't even know what the last clip is that y'all saw, but since the last clip of moving, I know I was filming moving, that was, I believe, April 3rd. It is now June the 29th. I have moved and I have a 5-week-old baby. Hear me out. I should have left this cat behind because she knows when I'm filming, and then this is what happens, okay? I already don't film, and then the second I film, here we go. We moved April 3rd back home. I wanted to get a lot of like moving vlog, but you know, I just kind of got caught up in the moving process. Didn't really get to filming much, clearly. Welcome all. This is Abigail from the future talking to you. I forgot to talk about the clip that I got of my empty apartment tour because I forgot to actually get a empty apartment tour. This clip counts as your empty apartment tour because by the time I got empty apartment footage, the landlord had already began remodeling the apartment. He wasted no time, so this counts as your empty apartment tour because this is all I got. Since then, I have moved back home with my dad, me and my husband, and then I had the baby May 24th. She's beautiful, she's perfect, everything's great with that. I'll do a whole video on her and couldn't sleeping. We'll see how long this lasts, how long I can film before she wakes up. This video, it's just kind of like an explanation for what doesn't make sense, what's not adding up, what's not aligning, and clearly what the title is. Kind of summing up all my other videos. Like, I think I had so many different directions on what I thought I wanted to do with my channel, with my life, and God was like, not gonna happen. So if you saw any of my other videos, even beginning YouTube, I was not passionate about anything with a video. Didn't know what I wanted to do with my career, still really don't know. And then I was doing travel nursing. I have some videos on that. And then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna use travel nursing to pay off all of our debts. That's just what I'm gonna do. Rewind. Before the travel nursing to pay off the debt, me and my husband wanted to buy a home. But as you know, this is like post-pandemic time. Interest rates are crazy. We would have been one of those insane people who put down our very last penny in order to buy something. And this was before I even found out I was pregnant. So let me again go back in order. Was doing the travel nursing thing, finished my contract last August of 2022. And then I decided, I was like, you know what, let's try to buy something. Let's try to buy a home. Still really didn't know what I wanted to do for my career. I didn't even know where I was going, but I was like, let's buy a house. And I knew that was crazy, but like, you know, we was, like I said, we was gonna be spending our last penny on it. And then when we were gonna buy the house, I don't know, I just felt compelled like to look at what because if you're gonna buy a house, you're getting in more debt. And I had just bought a car last April, and I'm like, you know what, I'm so sick of getting in more and more debt. Interest rates have been paused on these student loans. I still ain't made not one nan payment. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do that. So I just kind of felt like, what am I doing? Like what is my money plan? And I was inspired by so many people on YouTube who were getting out of debt and doing what they needed to do, like to get out of debt and stuff. And I was like, that could be me. Like, I really want that to be me. Like, I don't want to be in debt unnecessarily, especially I think buying that car really inspired me to be like, girl, get your finances together. And all this is tying into the whole title of this video, which I know is going to involve why I was pregnant, broke, and moved back in with my dad. Something like that. So yeah, that was like August, and then got pregnant at the end of August. Didn't know until I signed another contract to go to Seattle, which I know I posted a video about that, to do a quick travel contract. 2 days before I was leaving, I found out I was pregnant. And within that time period was when, you know, we were looking at homes in September and August. Sorry, August, September. Wow. We're gonna blame that on pregnancy brain and postpartum pregnancy brain that I really just said the months backwards and then question if it was forward or backwards. But anyway, we decided not to buy. I decided to do no more travel contract and ended up getting pregnant, ended up finding out at the end of September, ended up going on that contract. That was only a 3-week contract for less than a week because I was just so sick. Please check out that video. And then I came home from that contract early, and God is good, because if I would have gotten pregnant any other time during last year from when I was working, it would have been a struggle. Like, I needed to not work because the first trimester, baby, the worst trimester for me. You know, every pregnancy is different, but the first trimester was truly the worst. I don't even know if I uploaded a video on like, I think I did. In some of my videos, I talked about all the symptoms I had first trimester. So that was the hardest. Like, the sciatic nerve pain got to me, not even the third trimester, the first trimester. And I wasn't even able to get out of the bed on my own, get in the bed on my own. I was struggling to walk on my own. My husband had to carry me a lot around. It was a struggle. I was so sick. I lost like 10 pounds in a week. Couldn't even hold down water. I was not able to work, and I really could not physically take care of myself by myself. Like, it was really bad. So thankfully, I say all that to say, I was off when I found out I got pregnant. And then during that time, opportunities came up for me to do school nursing. And basically, I got pregnant at the end of August. From me applying to school nursing and starting the job, it didn't start until like December. So in December of 2022, I started working as a school nurse. Me and my husband went from a moment where we were like, I really don't want to move back home. I don't want to live in that neighborhood anymore. We want our own, you know, space and blah, blah, blah. This has always been in the back of our mind, like, for years. We thought about this. We changed our minds and we're like, no, I don't really want to do that. We wanted our own space. We had an apartment. With that apartment, I was getting so sick of where we lived. I loved the area in Chicago that it was in, but it did not have a washer and a dryer at all. We were always going to the laundromat, and I was so sick of our neighbors. Like, people were smoking heavily. I don't smoke. I don't really want to smell cigarette smoke or weed smoke in my house, especially not while I'm about to have a baby now. They were so loud. The neighbors who moved in below us were extremely loud. I might even upload some footage of like how loud they were. I couldn't even sleep sometimes because of how loud they were. I was messaging the landlord like every other day, like, you need to tell them something about this music because it's insane. In general, that was the point of why I didn't even want to move home and come back to this neighborhood, because that neighborhood in Chicago was like a bit of a step up, a little bit, even though it was still not ideal. This is back to like, we in a little bit of the hood where I grew up, okay? And I just didn't really want to be here anymore. You know, you grow, sometimes you come home and it's meant for you, and sometimes you get to a point where you're ready to move on to the better thing. But from what I've learned, you have to do what's the next best thing you can do for yourself. And at the end of the day, I say all this to say the overarching issue to why we're here is because our money issues, our spending issues, not wanting to be living more than our means and having hella credit card debt and all that stuff. Like, we just didn't want to do that. So we take responsibility for living basically all of our 20s, living our best life, like getting money and being free and being young and being a couple and not having a kid at the time and spending money that we got and doing fun things that we wanted to do and not really having to think for the future with our money. We didn't do that in our 20s. We didn't think about, I just thought about, dang, I just want to move out. I want to be able to afford an apartment. And then I got to that point and we just didn't really think about, okay, now how do we save up for a house? Do we want to get out of debt? Then I started to get in more debt and I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't fun. Who is living life like this and then getting in more debt with a mortgage? And then you're telling me if the roof get a hole in it, I got to pay for it. If the furnace break down, I got to pay for that. And I got to pay a water bill and taxes and stuff. That's a lot. So I wanted to buy a house, but realizing all those factors and realizing that we did not properly save up in order to prepare for that, especially during these times. It is not like what it was. As we all know, millennials, we tried to do the right thing and go to college right when college became an astronomical price compared to what it was when our parents were going. They couldn't even prepare us for the way things is costing, the way they costing now. We got stuck in the whole go to college, getting all that student loan debt. No one told me not to sign them papers, but it is what it is. We're here now. We want to do better. We want to set ourselves up better to take care of our daughter, continue to grow our family. And what better way to do better than to come home and be able to save? And the great thing about this house, the way it is, it's a house, but it is built kind of like a 2-flat house. Me and my husband are upstairs and my dad is downstairs, and he has his whole living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom situation. And everybody still has their own privacy. So that's where I am. Oh, that little stretching, girl. Ooh. Are we waking up? No? Oh no, why would we do that? Babies be breathing fast and it be throwing me off. I used to stare at her sleep like, am I calling 911? What are we doing, girl? Why are you breathing like that? And on that note, I think she's actually waking up this time. Because I also discovered that newborns cry in their sleep, and then I just freak out. And like I said, newborns be screaming and crying in their sleep because look. Someone is already going back to sleep. Anyways, I will see y'all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in my next video.